Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Just want to jump on here real quick to share some more content. Once again, another pondering thought during time of just meditating, collecting my thoughts. And so I decided to share on today, uplift yourself, encourage yourself. Uplift and being uplifting and encouraging yourself. It's so important that we uplift ourselves. That means lift yourself up, encourage yourself. Speak life to yourself. We're living in crazy times and a lot of crazy things are happening around us. But what better thing to do is to uplift yourself. When you uplift yourself, it uplifts your spirit, it encourages you, it kind of motivates you. We always talk about life and death is in the power of the tongue, all that good stuff. But, a lot of things that you say can shift you into another season, can shift you and help keep you focused depending upon what you say and what you do. But uplift yourself. We have people that focus more on uplifting, encouraging somebody else, but they never encourage themselves. They know it seems as if you have the right words to tell everybody else to uplift their spirit, but you never have the right words for yourself. And so uplift yourself. Listen, just as healthy as it is to encourage somebody else and uplift somebody else, it's healthy for you too. Different people have, people deal with different self-esteem issues, mental issues, and we have to find a way to encourage ourselves and uplift ourselves. All right. I know this generation focuses on, positive energy, negative energy, and I don't get into all that energy stuff. I know we're spirit wrapped up in flesh. And so sometimes we may operate in a bad spirit or negative spirit. We can operate in a positive spirit, positive mindset. And oftentimes when it comes to uplifting yourself and encouraging yourself, it also deals with your mindset. It also deals with the things that you've been allowing to filter in. You have to watch, the things that you listen to, because a lot of things that, that comes out of your mouth is oftentimes things that's in your heart and oftentimes things that has filtered into your life. And so if you got a lot of negativity filtering into your life, then guess what? A lot of negativity is going to flow out. So you have to watch what filters through your ears. You have to watch what you are processing and allowing to come into your life. You have to watch these different things. When it comes to uplifting and encouraging somebody else and encouraging yourself, oftentimes we don't watch the negativity that comes in. And because of that negativity that comes in and we're not filtering that negativity out, what happens is that negativity will begin to affect us. All right. Yeah, you may have the right things to say to everybody else, but you have to guard your heart. You got to guard your ears. You have to watch what filters in, because what filters in can affect your life. What filters in oftentimes can determine what you say. Have you ever said something you're like, man, I didn't mean to say it like that, or I didn't mean to say that? Why? Because what happens is we're not watching what filters in. The issues of life flow from the heart. So we're not watching what filters in and what's filtering out. All right. So it's so very important that we get ourselves together. Get ourselves together so we can uplift somebody else. Get ourselves together so we can encourage somebody else. When is the last time you spoke life to yourself? When is the last time that you encouraged yourself? When is the last time you uplifted yourself? Oftentimes, as soon as something happens unexpected, as soon as something happens you wish you didn't do, or whatever the case may be, you always say something negative about yourself. And you don't even realize you've done it. It's become a habit that you don't even realize you just do it. You do it without thinking. You're really not uplifting yourself. You're really discouraging yourself and adding pressure. We're already under enough pressure as it is. Living life is enough pressure. All the responsibilities and stuff that we have to deal with in this lifetime is already enough pressure. And you add pressure when you say, not uplifting things to yourself, when you don't encourage yourself. You're only adding more pressure to your life. So learn how to encourage yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself. Learn how to uplift yourself. These things are so important. that you do, because as you uplift yourself, it helps you to be in a better mindset, it helps you to be in a better spirit. All right. It helps you to filter thoughts even better when you uplift and encourage yourself. All right. So yes, we don't need to add no more pressure. Life is already going to test you. You're already going to go through challenging situations as it is, but learn how to uplift and encourage yourself first. Like, don't leave yourself out of the encouragement. Don't leave yourself out of upliftment. All right. Yeah, you may be a person that's, that know how to encourage everybody else and uplift everybody else's spirit, but don't forget about you. There are so many people that are on the brink of committing suicide. And somebody, I don't know the numbers or the statistics, but somebody's committing suicide every day. And oftentimes, believe it or not, even though I don't have the statistics, you will see there's a lot of beautiful, positive people that we are around that always has the nice, encouraging, uplifting things to say. And then all of a sudden, this person takes their life and you're like, man, that was a good person. Man, that person always had a beautiful spirit about them. We always say all these kind things because they're gone, because this person knew how to encourage you. They knew how to uplift you, but for some odd reason, they couldn't uplift themselves. For some odd reason, they couldn't get over the hump of lifting themselves up and encouraging themselves. Maybe their self-esteem was just extremely low, that they knew how to play that thing off. They knew how to say the right things to make you feel better, but for themselves, they didn't feel any better. For themselves, they really kind of given up on life. They had checked out of life. And so, I want to encourage somebody, because everybody deals with depression differently. Everybody deals with stress differently. Everybody deals with life and the circumstances and the obstacles and the challenges. Everybody deals with these things differently. But find a way to uplift yourself. Find a way to forgive yourself, uplift yourself, encourage yourself, and keep pushing forward. Find a way. Instead of saying, because you made a mistake, oh, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm this, I'm that. Instead of saying the next negative thing about yourself. You're not stupid because you made a mistake. You're not an idiot because you made the wrong decision. In class, I teach my students, I said, a mistake, is a learning lesson. So you're not an idiot, but you're learning how not to do that again. And so there's so many different ways of approaching and dealing with negativity and dealing with our whatever situations we're dealing with, whatever decisions we have to make. There's so many different ways. And I think oftentimes that we can be so hard on ourselves. And we're so hard to the point where we don't encourage ourselves. We don't uplift ourselves. So I want to encourage somebody today. And what's up to all of my YouTube viewers? Appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate your highs and all that good stuff. I want to encourage you all to uplift yourself. Speak life to yourself. It's cool that you can speak it to somebody else, but speak life to yourself. When you speak life to yourself, it can help motivate you to fulfill your purpose. It can help you refocus when you begin to encourage yourself and speak life to yourself, and this positive talk, this encouraging talk, this uplifting talk. You could be having a rough day, but as soon as you begin to uplift yourself, as soon as you begin to shift your mind into a more positive sense, it's easy to stay negative minded. It's easy to just look at things from a negative perspective and stay in that vein. But I am a witness of, no matter how negative, no matter how bad the day is, that day can be better, and that day can start being better by what you say. It can start being better by how you think. All right. Yeah, something happened unexpected, but I don't have to begin to think negatively because something happened unexpectedly. I don't have to begin to spit venomous things out of my mouth because I don't like the way my day is going or life is going. No, continue to uplift yourself, because guess what? Even though you don't like what you're going through, you still got to make it through. And you're going to need some encouragement. You're going to need some upliftment to make it through whatever that unfortunate circumstance is, whatever that challenge is. So learn how to uplift, encourage yourself. Learn how to lift yourself up. Learn how to motivate yourself, encourage yourself to the point that you can get over the hump, that you can get past whatever the obstacle and the challenge is. So learn how to uplift yourself. Why is it that you know how to minister to everybody else but yourself? You know, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and I meditate on it every now and then, and I guess I should have looked up the scripture, but you can Google it. You know, it talks about how David encouraged himself in the Lord. David encouraged himself in the Lord. You know, what David was faced with, his men were angry. His soldiers that was part of his group was angry. They were frustrated with him. They were ready to stone David. And David didn't just waddle in whatever he was going through. The Bible says that David encouraged himself in the Lord. He encouraged himself. In other words, he got himself up. You know, oftentimes we may fall short and make a mistake, but you don't have to stay in the mistake. You don't have to stay there. You know, pick yourself up, encourage yourself, uplift yourself. All right. It's so important that you speak life to yourself, because speaking life to yourself will help you to get through these circumstances and challenges. And so I just want to uplift somebody today that, you know, don't leave yourself out in the process. Don't leave yourself out of the upliftment, the encouragement, whatever you're trying to do in life. Guess what? If nobody else motivates you, if nobody else uplifts you and encourages you to make it through, guess what? Sometimes you have to encourage yourself and uplift yourself to make it through. Sometimes we wait on others to uplift us, but there's come a time that you have to learn how to uplift yourself. You have to learn how to encourage yourself. Not saying that encouragement and upliftment from a loved one, a spouse, a mom, a dad, all that good stuff. Not saying that's not a beautiful thing. It is. But you can't wait around for people to encourage you. Learn how to encourage yourself. Learn how to motivate yourself. Learn how to get your gears going for yourself. All right? And so that's the whole talk today, is this, you know, instead of always uplifting everybody else and encouraging everybody else, yes, I definitely encourage you to keep doing it. It's a beautiful thing to do, to see people, when you can help somebody pick up their spirit. Their spirit may be low. They may be down. They may be discouraged. And I think it's a beautiful ministry. It's a beautiful thing when you can, you know, when God gives you the right thing to say to encourage somebody else. I think it's beautiful. But if God can give you the right things to say to somebody else, then why is it that you can't find the right things to say about yourself? You know, we have to stop hating ourselves and stop disliking ourselves. You know, we have an opportunity to change in a positive way, the way you look and the way you feel, you know, and a lot of that comes by how we talk about ourselves. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you say? When you put your outfit on for that particular day, what do you say? You know, these things are so vital and so important because, you know, people oftentimes dress based upon how they feel about themselves. That's sometimes how people dress. If they don't like themselves, you'll see they always dress bummy. They never fix up their hair. You know, they never put nothing nice on. They don't put the extra smell good that can help make that person feel better. No, take care of you. And taking care of you is uplifting yourself and encouraging yourself. All right? So very important that we do that. So very important that you don't forget about you. You could be so concerned about everybody else, but always forget about you. And then guess what? You need that encouragement too. And you may not get the phone call. You may not get the text message. All right? Of the person to encourage you. But one thing you got to learn how to do is encourage yourself, uplift yourself, speak positive about yourself, speak life about you. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with building your self-esteem up. Not into the point where you become arrogant and conceited. No, I want to build my self-esteem up in a healthy way. We've done it so much in a negative way. Let's find healthy ways to build ourselves up. And as we build ourselves up, we can help build others up. I'm a firm believer that, there are people assigned to our lives, and we just don't cross paths with people and spark up conversations to spark up conversations. I really believe some of the people that cross our paths, oftentimes I really believe those are divine moments, and believing that maybe that divine moment is me to pray for them. Maybe that divine moment is to encourage them. Maybe that divine moment is, some type of positive interaction, but whatever that divine moment is, what better way to get prepared for that divine moment by encouraging yourself and uplifting yourself. Speak life over you. So important. Yes, build your self-esteem up in a healthy way that you will begin to feel better about yourself. The reason why a lot of people may gain weight, or they may not be the healthiest in some cases, is because of stress. It's because of how they treat themselves. And so just imagine if I just begin to speak life. Just imagine if I start speaking positive about myself rather than negative about myself. What would happen if I just begin to do all, you never know. Some people want to accomplish a goal of losing weight and looking better and feeling better. And guess what? You gotta encourage yourself. You gotta uplift yourself to do it. You gotta encourage yourself through the whole process, even if nobody else encourages you. So the first steps of feeling better and wanting to look better, it begins with you. It begins with you. And so I just wanted to encourage somebody today to uplift yourself. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about encouraging yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself. If you made a mistake, if you did something you thought was so foolish, forgive yourself. And then learn from whatever that mistake is. A mistake is actually a learning lesson. Doesn't mean you're an idiot. Doesn't mean that you're stupid. No, it just means that if you haven't stopped doing it, it means that you haven't learned yet, and you just need to learn to stop doing it. But forgive yourself, encourage yourself, uplift yourself. Make sure that you're healthy. Make sure that you got a healthy mindset. Make sure that you're filtering in the right things. Now, just because you heard something doesn't mean you have to filter it in. All right. Some of the things that you hear isn't good for your ears. Some of the things that you hear is not good to take it in. It may be good to be aware of what was said, but not to take it in, because sometimes you can take in a bad seed, and that bad seed can affect you. It can affect you. So watch what you filter in. Protect your ear gates. Watch what you're filtering in. Watch what you're processing in. Watch what you're taking in. Sometimes we take in too much bad information. No, learn how to feed your spirit. Learn how to feed you the right, just like our bodies. You think about our bodies. For our body to function properly, you have to eat the right foods, have the right nutrients, all that kind of good stuff. And if you put bad food in your body reacts differently. Your body can become sluggish. You can become very tired. Sometimes your body begins to break down. You become sick, all because you're not eating a healthy diet, not eating the right foods. It's the same concept with words. We got to watch what's filtering in, and we have to guard what's filtering out. Because we got to think about it. If I'm not guarding what's filtering in and I don't guard what's filtering out, then what's filtering in is going to affect me. And what's filtering out is not only going to affect the person that's receiving that message, but it's also a reflection of me and what I've been filtering in. So that's why you just can't listen to everybody, watch everything, take in everything, because some of the things that you take in sometimes can be a bad seed. It could be a bad word. It could be something that's not fruitful, something that's not good for you. So as you're trying to encourage yourself and build your self-esteem and uplift yourself and do all this positive stuff, you have to also make sure you're filtering in the right things. And then guarding what goes out. That means filtering, if I have anything within me that should not be in my heart, my mind, I need to filter that stuff out in a positive way, but not filtering out where it's going to hurt me and hurt somebody else. So encourage yourself, uplift yourself, take care of you first. Make sure you're healthy. Make sure you're healthy. It's so easy to try to take care of somebody else, but you yourself is not healthy. No, make sure you're okay. Make sure you're healthy. Make sure your mental state, you're okay. Make sure your heart is okay. Check you out first. Make sure, you're okay. It's not saying you can't care about nobody else, but you can't forget about taking care of you. So that's what this whole talk is about. The upliftment and the encouragement. It's really about, hey, take care of you. Make sure you're okay. Make sure you're healthy. I didn't say stop encouraging people, but make sure you don't forget to encourage yourself. I didn't say you don't help somebody else, but make sure you're taking care of you. You getting the proper help that you need. Because like I said, there's a lot of people taking their lives, and because why? They're not taking care of themselves. They're not getting the help that they need, the help they're supposed to be getting. And they take their life, and they're good-hearted, pure-hearted people, but they struggle taking care of themselves, and they focus on taking care of others. So I just want to encourage somebody as I close to continue to uplift yourself. From the time that you wake up throughout your day, say something encouraging to yourself. Even if you experience some type of failure, some type of setback, that's not the time to give up. That's the time to encourage yourself, to speak life, to uplift yourself, to do whatever it can to get your morale up, to get you in a better head space, to get you in a better heart space. These things are so important. So definitely, as I close, listen, I pray that, as always, that my inspirational moment has encouraged you, has uplifted you. To my YouTubers, definitely feel free to subscribe if you haven't. Your subscriptions are important, and we appreciate you tuning in. And so definitely subscribe, and please share this, even on my Facebook channel or page. Even if what I'm talking about today has encouraged you, has uplifted you, have given you a different perspective, different outlook, definitely share this with somebody. You never know who's going through what they're going through. And I share these inspirational moments to keep people's spirit uplifted, because I don't know what people are going through. And we're living in a dark, chaotic world. And we need to find ways to encourage ourselves and encourage others, because everybody can't handle this dark, chaotic world. It's really dark. And a lot of people don't know how to handle this kind of atmosphere, this kind of life that we're experiencing in this day and time. So if what I've shared has encouraged you, definitely share. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, definitely encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll share that link on my Facebook in the Facebook comments on this video after my video is done. Listen, if you have not fellowship with us here at Standing Gap Ministries, definitely encourage you on tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. We begin our worship. The address is 3507 Suite 3, Canfield Road. Feel free to come on out and fellowship with us if you haven't. We appreciate those who tune in live to our services, whether on Facebook or YouTube. Definitely appreciate the support. But we would love for you to come on out and fellowship with us and help us lift up the name of the Lord together. It's so very important that we learn how to fellowship with one another. We know the real kingdom assignment is out there in the community, because our community does need us. And so, yes, we got to get out there and speak life and to minister the gospel to them. But we come to the house of God to worship. We come to the house of God to fellowship. We come to the house of God to get empowered so we can go out. And so it's such an importance of coming together and fellowshipping with your brothers and sisters. And so I'm encouraging everybody everywhere, get to the house of God. I know you got comfortable watching your favorite preacher and your favorite Bible study online, and those things are awesome. But get to the house of God, connect with a local body where you can be a blessing to that local body, help that local body build the kingdom of God, because that's what it's really all about, building the kingdom of God. So our worship time tomorrow starts at 10:30. We will go live at around 11 a.m. We go live with the rest of our service. But we are encouraging you, if you're in the surrounding areas, to come on out and fellowship with us. Even if you don't come to Standard Gap Ministries, go somewhere physically and fellowship, connect with the local body, and worship the Lord together. Listen, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in to my inspirational moment. Feel free to subscribe to my Facebook people. I'm going to share that link in the comments, and to my YouTubers. I appreciate you always jumping on, showing the love, all that good stuff. Definitely feel free to share on Facebook as well as YouTube. God bless. Tune in tomorrow. I know God has a mighty word that he's going to release that's going to help shift us and help get us prepared for our next season. So God bless you and be encouraged. Thank you for tuning in.